In this video, I'm gonna show you how to use the Mevo Core for live streaming using OBS. Now, this is a new interchangeable lens camera by Logitech within the Mevo family. It has a micro four thirds sensor. If you haven't seen a full review, I'm gonna link it down below so you can see all the cool features that it has. But other than being a camera that will allow you to connect it wirelessly to multiple applications, this camera can also be used for live streaming, especially if you're using OBS or any other streaming software. But in today's video, I'm gonna show you multiple ways of connecting to OBS, including UVC or USB cable, which is a wired way, or using HDMI. If you wanna use HDMI, you can do so, but in my opinion, you probably don't need that. And then I'm gonna show you, of course, how to use NDI and SRT. So let's not take much time. Let's actually get right into it. What is going on, guys? My name is Sam, watching live production tips and tools here. So now when it comes to the Mevo Core, the first thing that I'm gonna show you guys is actually to use the USB cable that comes with the camera. So now one thing that you need to know is gonna be a USB type C that can be used either for charging or for actually connecting to the computer, and that's gonna allow you to connect it directly to OBS and be able to stream no problem. Now, to be able to control the camera, personally I like the mobile application that comes with the Mevo Core Camera, of course. And to get the application, because this camera doesn't have a screen, it only has one button. So in order for you to access the menu and be able to control everything, like controlling the lens and everything, zooming and focusing, controlling the exposure, everything that you need to do, you're gonna have to go through the application. Now there's the multicam application, which is going to allow you to actually control and switch and live stream using multiple Mevo cameras. But if you want to just use one single camera, you don't have to get the multi-camera app. You can simply get the Mevo app. It's called just the Mevo application. And if you go to your App Store or Google Play, you should find it. In fact, if I go there, I can show you this is what it's called. So Logitech Mevo. Just download it. You already have mine already downloaded. Now, to be able to connect the camera to your application, the only thing you need to do, you need to make sure the camera and the phone are actually connected on the same network if you're using Wi-Fi. Now, if you're not using Wi-Fi, you can actually use the camera's Wi-Fi to be able to connect. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and actually open the Mevo application, and this is what's gonna look like. Now, as soon as you open, if you have your camera of course has to be turned on. So I have mine turned on already. That's the camera that's actually filming this video, and it's gonna show up here. As you can see, it's gonna be able to see any camera that's actually connected to the network. So you just do it once and it's gonna be always connected or available. And as you can see, I can see the camera. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and actually click connect to Mevo. Okay, again, make sure they're all connected to the same network. Okay, now as soon as it's connected, this is what the application is gonna look like. You have different settings, and if I go here, you click to this dots kind of menu button. You're gonna see you have different things you can do. You got the mixer for audio. You can change all the settings. I'm not gonna go through all this today. Okay, you got the lens control where you can do the focusing and everything. Again, I'm not gonna go through that. I already have my image already focused, so I don't want to mess it up. The exposure, in my opinion, I personally always use the auto exposure. It works perfectly. Okay, and then you have the white balance. My mine is set as 5600 Kelvin, just to make sure. So you have all the controls. I'm not gonna go through everything, but this is what the application looks like. And if you wanted to, you can even go live using the application. Okay, all you gotta do is you're gonna go to this red button, and you're gonna be able to either record on SD card. You're gonna be able to live stream to Facebook, YouTube. This is gonna be for a different video. For today, I'm just gonna show you how to set it up in OBS for live streaming. So again, now once you have focusing, you can use this wheel to manually focus, or if you want, you can simply tap on the face and make sure you are in focus and everything looks good. Okay, now next up, we're gonna go ahead and actually connect a USB cable, which is gonna be the first way of connecting the camera to OBS. So since I'm recording with this camera already using HDMI, I have my second Mevo Core Camera, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and connect it. Remember, when you connect to the USB port that has a computer sign on it. All right, because the other one is for charging. Okay, So I'm gonna go ahead and actually connect my USB cable into my computer. Another thing you have to pay attention to, this cable is gonna come as a USB Type-C on both ends. So if you don't have a USB Type-C port on your computer, you probably wanna invest in a little adapter that will actually convert USB Type-C into USB Type-A, and for you to be able to connect your computer. All right, so now I have the computer connected. Okay, again, I'm using this one to demo. I already have mine, my main one is already connected, so I don't want to play with it. Okay, so what you need to do is, of course, you're gonna go ahead and turn it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and press the on button, and right now the camera is on. And then what you need to do to enable the UVC mode without using the application, you can go ahead and actually tap twice. So let's go. And as you can see, the tally lights are actually turning red. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and open OBS and see if I'm gonna be able to find the camera. So what we need to do, I have a scene already created here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and actually, this one I'm going to disable it. This is the SRT one. I'm gonna show you how it works in a minute. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and hit a plus sign here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and actually add a video capture device. And then we gotta call it Mevo USB, and then I'm gonna hit OK. And then once you go here under devices, you should see it. It's gonna show up under Mevo FN3 something, which should be the name of this camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and click selected. And as you can see, with USB, you can choose custom resolution, and you're gonna be able to have 4K resolution available for you. The canvas is a little small, that's why you see the resolution is kind of bigger than my canvas. So for now, I don't need 4K, but if you need 4K, you have it available. If you need 720p, you have it available. But for now, we're gonna go with 1920 by 1080p. And then everything else, guys, you don't have to change that much. For FPS, again, we have 30 frames per second usually that you can get, but it looks like I even have 60 frames per second available. I don't know if it's gonna be effective, but I have that option available for me in OBS. So hopefully maybe works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, because in the specs, Logitech says you can get up to 30 frames per second. But in here, I have 60 frames per second available. But anyways, for my type of content, most of you guys, if you're not doing sports, you're gonna be okay with 30 frames per second. Everything else, you can leave it the way it is. And once you're done, just hit OK. And then boom, now we have a signal in OBS. Now, if you want to add audio, usually this is like a webcam. Technically, the camera is acting as a webcam. You would go here and then add audio input capture, and then you can call it Mevo audio, and then hit OK. And then if I go here, we should be able to find the microphone from the Mevo camera. So you can go ahead and actually click Mevo microphone and hit OK. And now we should have both the audio from the camera and the video from the camera as well. If I move the camera, obviously this is not what you're supposed to do. So as you can see now, the camera is on, is live actually, and we should have some audio coming in. Now the audio is not turned on actually, that's why I'm probably not seeing any signal, but the microphone should be on, no problem. So this is how you do it. Again, you're able to get the audio and the image. Again, my audio is not on right now. It's because I believe in the application I actually muted it, but usually you should be able to get the audio, no problem. So now that we got the USB part taken care of, the next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and connect using NDI. Now to do the NDI way, we're gonna be using the mobile application. I'm gonna use my main camera. And what we need to do, we're gonna go to the mobile application right now, and we're gonna go to these three dots here. And what we need to do, usually, in my opinion, if you wanna use NDI, you can either use wireless or wired. But if you are in a place like in the office like this one, if you have a way to connect to your network, I believe wired is actually more reliable than wireless. So you will need a little adapter like an Ethernet adapter, USB Type-C to Ethernet adapter to be able to connect your camera, which is awesome. Once you have it, right now I already have the camera connected wirelessly, it doesn't matter. So what you need to do is you actually need to go to the camera, into the camera settings, and you're gonna go here where it says NDI mode. Now you have NDI settings. You can actually click and enable HEVC. So I believe HEVC is H265, which is a codec that's gonna allow you to give you a higher quality with a lower bit rate. So if you have like your internet speed is gonna not that great, you can actually use this feature to be able to get a higher quality image with lower bit rate. That's that. So you can go ahead and actually enable it, but you can also go ahead and choose the NDI resolution. Now, if you have enough bandwidth, you can actually go ahead and do 1080p 7.5 Mbps. If you don't, you can go lower and take 2.5 megabits per second. For now, we're using 7.5 1080p full HD. You can also define your custom resolution and bitrate if you want. You can even create groups and everything, but for now we're gonna keep it simple. So we have NDI right now, we have enabled HEVC, and then what we need to do, we're gonna go ahead and toggle this thing that says NDI mode. As you can see, now it is toggled, and if you are curious to know if my HDMI port is still working, yes, the HDMI port is still working, because that's how I am recording this video. I'm actually recording this video. I have an HDMI cable connected to the Mevo Core into my ATEM Mini Pro, and the ATEM Mini Pro is sending to Streamlabs, so that's how I'm recording this video. So yes, HDMI port is still on and still working, no problem. So next thing we're gonna do is, as you can see, says on this little red button, it says that NDI is on. So the next thing you need to do, you need to go to Google. If you don't have the NDI plugin, for you to be able to connect to OBS, just go to Google and type in OBS NDI plugin. It should show up, no problem. The first one, this one right here, it should be this one. And again, I'm gonna leave a link down below for you guys to go ahead and actually download it, no problem. Once you have installed before, just make sure you install it before you open OBS. It should be super straightforward. Just click to the link, go ahead and actually download it. And again, depending on your operating system, usually click to go to download, and you go here where it says assets. If you're running Windows, okay, you should be clicking this one. If you're running Mac, it should be, I believe, this one. So for me, I use Windows, so this is the one that I actually installed. Just click on it and then download it to your computer and just run it, no problem. So once you have it installed, open OBS. I'm gonna go ahead and actually hide everything that we have here, and I'm gonna go ahead under the whatever scene that you want to add it to. You're gonna go ahead and click the plus sign, and then you're gonna go to this one here. It's gonna show up. This is the NDI plugin that we just installed. It's gonna say NDI source. We're gonna go ahead and add NDI source, and then for this one we can call it Mevo NDI, and I'm gonna hit OK. And then source name, we're gonna go hit this little icon here, and then as you can see, I have multiple NDI sources available, but also have the Mevo KH23M, which is my camera right there. And then bandwidth, you can say highest, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. And then audio video sync, we can say source timing. If you have a microphone, which is something that I recommend, or if you want to capture audio, because this is wireless or wired, it doesn't matter. If you want to use the audio coming from the camera, I'll actually suggest, if there's any lips or talking involved, to connect the microphone directly to the camera, so the timing with the audio and video gets to you at the same time, so you don't have to deal with delays and, you know, mismatching and everything. So once you have everything, we can leave it the way it is. Color space, you don't have to change this. Pen and tilt, we don't have any pen and tilt with this camera, so everything else should stay the way it is, and we should actually hit OK. So as you can see, we have now audio coming in and video coming in at the same time. So as you can see, if I clap, of course there's a little delay. It's normal because again, everything's running wireless, so it's NDI. That's why again, I recommend for audio purposes, either you're gonna have to deal with delaying the audio, or if you have the audio coming directly from the camera at the same time, then you should not have to worry. But again, there's a little delay for sure. That's something that you have to be aware of. So this is it, guys. As you can see, the image is super clean, clear, no problem. The quality is amazing, man. This looks good. Again, I'm not recording the OBS file, but you guys can see on the screen here that the image is really good. So that's that. The next thing we're gonna do, so now we got the NDI out of the way, the next way we're gonna be trying to do is gonna be the SRT. This camera is feature packed. Remember guys, this is a camera with micro four third sensor with interchangeable lens, but it's got crazy connectivity options. So what you need to do, we're gonna go to the application and I'm gonna go ahead and hit, again, we can get NDI and SRT at the same time, so either NDI or SRT. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually click, because it's gonna give me a warning, so I'm gonna turn it off and just hit OK, and it's gonna cancel NDI, no problem. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the application and then we're gonna go to settings, and then under settings we're gonna go where it says SRT mode. Now this is gonna be super crucial. If this is your first time dealing with SRT, you're gonna have to pay attention to this. So what you need to do usually to enable SRT, you're gonna go here where it says SRT, and before you enable it, you toggle this little thing here. You're gonna go to SRT settings, and then we're gonna go ahead and actually enable HEVC. This is if you need it. Again, HEVC is gonna allow you to have a higher quality without having to use more bandwidth on your internet or your connection, which is ideal, especially when you're doing mobile stuff. Again, SRT is super useful because NDI, you can receive the signal if you are on the same network and your computer is connected on the same network, the computer that is running OBS. Now SRT is on another level. You can be anywhere. You can be in Africa, you can be in America, you can be in Europe, okay? As long as you're connected to some sort of connection, I could be anywhere in the world, in a different country or a different continent, and be able to receive an SRT signal from the camera. So this is gonna be useful for like if you want to doing reporters, if you're a reporter and you want to send a signal from the camera to like a remote production kind of thing, like to a remote office, or you know, to the main production office. Or if you're doing a remote production, in fact, like actually gonna be doing some where I could be sitting in my office running OBS and have someone maybe in the States, I live in Canada, kind of send me a signal over the internet, send it to OBS, and I can use maybe 1 or 2 feeds, and I can use those to run a show right from my office, right? The person's somewhere far away, right? So its SRT is amazing. So this camera can do that, right? Or there's an event happening somewhere downtown, you know, somebody has to cover it and we want to run like a professional show. We got 2 guys with 2 Mevo cameras, sending 2 feeds, using professional cameras, professional lenses and everything, sending 2 feeds back into the office so we can actually run graphics, look at the comments and everything. Is SRT, man, it's amazing. Anyways, I'm gonna show you how to set it up. So we have the HEVC enabled, and we have custom, where it says define custom resolution and bitrate. You can actually define whatever bitrate that you want. Okay, now we're going to pay attention to this part here. We have the mode. Okay, we have listener and caller and random. Now listener is more like a caller first. The reason why I have to set the camera to caller or the application is because the caller is the person sending the feed, and the listener is the person receiving the feed. So the person who's running OBS for us in our case is gonna be the listener. So we're gonna be getting the feed from the camera. Now I'm running the camera on the local network right now, but it's the same concept applies to local network or somebody who's on a completely different network, right? It's the same concept. So, and then we got the host. So now what you need to do is you need to go to your computer and type in command, okay? Because you need to know your IP address, all right? And then the little command prompt will open, and then go ahead and actually type ipconfig, right? And usually it's gonna show you your IP address, okay? So you're gonna take your IP address, usually it's IPv4, right? That's the one that you need, okay? And then because that's local, now if you were doing something that's now local, like now what I'm doing, I think you use what they call public IP address. Again, you can go to Google and just type in what's my public IP address, and that's what you're gonna use instead of using local IP address. But for now, we're gonna be using my local IP address, all right? So now I have my local IP address is 192.168.2.12. That's the IP address of my computer that's running OBS. That's the one we need. And then we go to OBS, and I'm gonna add a new scene, all right? So I'm just click the plus. I already have the scene already added, but what you need to do is you're gonna go ahead and add the scene, hit the plus sign, and then go to media source. Okay, I'm gonna name it SRT2. Okay, I'm gonna hit OK. Now you uncheck everything, actually everything you uncheck. Okay, uncheck everything. Okay, and now in input, okay, I'm gonna show you what I did. Okay, so in input here, I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna show you the one that I created because I can memorize everything. So in input here, I'm gonna leave the link down below, but there's a page from OBS that actually shows you everything, how to do it. So I'm gonna leave that one down below in the resource as well for SRT. But how it works, okay, in the input here, you're gonna put this link. Okay, so the link is SRT // and then your IP address and then double points and then the port. Okay, so if I go back to the application, there's a way it says local port and remote port. So you're gonna have to define that port yourself. So for me, it's 4201. So / and then 4201, that's the port. And then you're gonna have this question mark and then mode and then equals to listener, because our computer is the listener, right? And then OBS does actually suggest you add all these things here, like timeout equals 5 million or something. So I'm gonna leave the link below. Okay, all you have to do is just you replace the IP address and the mode. Okay, so all you gotta do is to just replace the IP address and the port, and everything else stays the same. And here input format, you don't have to change anything. And once you're done, you hit OK. All right, so now back in the application on the host, you're gonna make sure you put the same IP address as the local computer that is actually receiving the computer that's running OBS. Same IP address, same port number. Latency, you can define it to milliseconds, whatever you want. Okay, if you give a low latency, a little risky. So if you want, you add more latency, that means it gives you time to gather the information, so less chances of, you know, your image dropping out and everything or skipping frames. And then stream ID, this is optional, you don't have to do it. All right, so once you're done, you can actually go ahead again, choose your resolution. So your resolution, again, you can do 1080p 2.5 Mbps or 1080p 7.5 Mbps. Okay, once you're done, you just close the application and then you go here where it says SRT mode, and then you toggle this, and as you can see in the application, it shows. And then boom, back in OBS, as you can see, we have the image, and again, it's coming with both SRT video and audio. All right, so as you can see, of course, there's a delay, and you know, it's not that bad. Okay, again, everything is wireless right now. So again, this can be something that you can use. Somebody can send you a signal from far away, anywhere, could be in Africa, Europe, America, anywhere. All right, as you can see, the signal is high quality, guys. You can see on the screen here in OBS. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's how you do it. All right, so the next thing is really, if you know how to use OBS, obviously you're gonna go into settings. You want to go live to YouTube, you can add some other scenes if you want. You can do so many cool things with this. You can have probably some guests, you know, speaking to you from far away, covering events from far away. So many things you can do. But anyways, guys, I think you have seen everything. Again, my HDMI, if you want to know, HDMI is still running, no problem. That's how I'm recording this video. I got OBS running and I got HDMI going to my ATEM Mini Pro, and that's how I'm recording this video. So HDMI is running, either you're using NDI, either you're using SRT. As you can see, HDMI is still running, no problem. Okay, again, guys, there's so many things you can do with these cameras. I'm super excited. Got so many cool features on the top of having a Micro Four Thirds mount and having the option to use any lens that you want. And if you want to see actually how you can switch, if you have multiple cameras like this without using OBS, let's say if you're doing a production, maybe you're doing a sports event, or you're doing something else, or you're not in your office, or you don't have access to a computer, you can run multiple Mevo Core cameras using an application called Mevo Multicam application. And I've got a video that I made showing you step by step how to set it up and be able to actually go live with the Mevo Core to any platform, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or even multi-stream to multiple platforms. So I've got that video linked right here, so make sure to check it out, guys, and I will see you next time. Take care.